What made you finally stand up to your parents? My stepdad Kevin had been calling me a thief for 3 months straight. Every single day, he'd check the fridge and pantry like some kind of food detective, then storm into whatever room I was in and start yelling about missing leftovers or snacks that mysteriously disappeared overnight. "Dylan's been stealing food again," he'd announce to my mom like I wasn't even there. "Look at this. Half the pizza's gone. Kids got no respect for anyone else in this house." The thing is, I wasn't stealing anything. I was just hungry. When my mom married Kevin 2 years ago, he moved in with his twin boys, Brett and Chase. They were 11, 3 years younger than me, but somehow they got treated like kings while I got treated like some unwanted guest who should be grateful for scraps. Kevin installed this stupid system where everyone had to write their name on their food with permanent marker. Yogurt cups, leftover Chinese takeout, even individual slices of bread. Everything labeled like we were roommates instead of family. But here's the thing Kevin conveniently forgot to mention to my mom. His precious boys could eat whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted. No labels required for them. I'd come home from soccer practice starving, find the fridge cleaned out, and Kevin would just shrug. "Should have gotten here earlier. Food doesn't grow on trees, you know." One night, I got so desperate I ate a yogurt that had Chase written on it in thick black letters. I was practically dizzy from hunger, and it was just sitting there while his kid was upstairs playing video games. 20 minutes later, Kevin dragged me downstairs by my arm and made me stand in front of the empty yogurt container like I was on trial. "What did I tell you about stealing?" he screamed, his face turning red. "That yogurt cost $2. You want to eat other people's food? Get a job and buy your own." My mom just sat there saying nothing. That's when I realized she was too scared of Kevin to defend me. The next day, I used my birthday money to buy a tiny camera that looked like a phone charger. Cost me $40, but I was done being called a liar. I plugged it in near the kitchen counter where it could see everything. For one whole week, I watched Kevin's boys eat my labeled food while I was at school. They'd grab my sandwich meat, my cereal, even the dinner I'd saved for lunch the next day. But the worst part was hearing Kevin encourage them. "Eat up, boys," he'd say, watching Brett demolish my leftover pizza. "Dylan's not here anyway. What he doesn't know won't hurt him." On Thursday, Chase literally threw away my entire lunch because he didn't want Dylan to have it. Just tossed a perfectly good sandwich in the garbage and laughed about it. Friday night, Kevin sat me down for another one of his lectures. This time, he'd found an empty bag of chips in my room. Chips that I'd actually bought with my own money from the gas station. "This stops now," he said, waving the bag in my face. "You're grounded until you learn some respect. No soccer practice, no hanging out with friends. Maybe being hungry will teach you not to steal." That's when I pulled out my phone. "Want to see who's really stealing food?" I asked. Kevin's face went from angry to confused. "What are you talking about?" I opened the video app and hit play. Clear as day, there were his boys eating my labeled food while Kevin watched and smiled. 7 different videos of them taking my stuff and throwing it away. But the video that made my mom's face go completely white was the one from Wednesday. Kevin standing at the fridge, deliberately moving my leftover spaghetti to the back so his boys wouldn't see it, then telling them to eat everything else. "Make sure Dylan's stuff is gone before he gets home," Kevin said on the video. "Kid needs to learn his place in this house." My mom watched every single clip without saying a word. When it was over, she stood up very slowly and walked to the kitchen. She came back with a black marker and started crossing out every single label on every piece of food. "Kevin," she said quietly, "pack your stuff." "What? Over this? They're just kids being kids. Get out of my house," she said, louder this time. "Take your boys and get out." Kevin tried to argue, saying I was manipulative and that I'd set him up, but my mom just kept repeating the same thing. "Get out." 2 hours later, they were gone. That night, my mom made me a huge dinner and sat across from me while I ate. She didn't apologize with words, but she didn't need to. The unlocked fridge and full plate said everything. I never went hungry again.